Keir Starmer, this Prime Minister, will say this man, in my opinion, is evil. If you speak out, he'll put you in prison. Am I far right? I said, no, you're just right. I've got a good idea. Let's put a load of illegals in. You watch the crime go through the ceiling now.
One of the police officers says, if you see any fascists, let me know. They're more like the fascists of, of years gone by.
But I mean, I don't blame the police on the ground. The police are doing what they're told to do by their bosses. Some of these police bosses are going to think back and think, I was on the wrong side of history. Should be ashamed of themselves. I spoke to the local commander. He tells me that the hotel now is being prepared to accept asylum seekers.
We're obviously at the flashpoint of one of the big protests, which is the Britannia Hotel. I mean, what do you think this place reflects about what's going on in the country and what could be going on over the next month with more protests?
Any young male over the channel in a migrant camp will be thinking to himself, it doesn't matter where I'm from, what I've done in the past, I could be a wrong'un, some of them are. Doesn't matter, because within 24 hours I could be in a place like this, 4-star luxury, 3 meals a day, Wi-Fi, and free to roam the streets of Tower Hamlets and Canary Wharf and pretty much do whatever you want.
What are some of the things that you're hearing about the people that have come down to protest about this place?
They're rightly concerned about their daughters, about themselves, about women and girls who we know, Zach, let's be honest, we see it in the papers every single week that an asylum seeker has been either charged or found guilty of attacking a woman, and some of these crimes they're committing against our young women and girls, and not all women, are quite frankly, disgusting. And what have we done as a nation? We've invited these people in, rapists, murderers, potential terrorists, wrong-uns. We've invited them in this country and put them into places like this. The door's open. If you're a criminal, come to Britain and continue committing your crimes.
And what do you think? I mean, when you see, obviously there was a lot of security that we had down here. There, what about all the money that's been spent on that and that kind of ring of steel and everything?
Well, we don't know. I mean, they say that the cost of an illegal migrant is £41,000 per year. Imagine, I would imagine that most people working in and living in Tower Hamlets don't earn £41,000 a year. They're struggling, they're getting up in the morning, putting a shift in. I mean, look at some of these apartments around here. I know for a fact that some of the people in these apartments are paying £3,500 to £4 grand a month rent. It doesn't matter, come over on a boat, be a criminal, be a rapist, be a murderer, we'll stick you in 4-star luxury, and guess what, you can continue your crimes, because we haven't got the foggiest who you are.
I mean, you get a sense of the scale of it when you walk around a place like this, which is completely shut down, right? Yeah. This is prime real estate, central area of London, and it's just shuttered doors, closed up.
The state and the private sector spent a lot of money on this area of London. It was the Docklands. Look at all the beautiful new buildings. They've got investment in. There's still buildings going up as we speak. It's cost probably billions and billions of pounds. Private security. There's no crime here. I can tell you what. I've got a good idea. So say the Mayor of London and the government and Keir Starmer. Let's put a load of illegals in. You watch the crime go through the ceiling now.
The way that it's going is that there's going to be more protests, and it also looks like the government is going to kind of clamp down harder. There was reports about prisons being told to make space in anticipation of the protests. What do you think of that?
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean, we had a protest in Ashfield just a few weeks ago over an alleged rape by an asylum seeker. He's currently now on remand in prison. And the people who was out demonstrating, a lot of them, women in the 60s and 70s, and they were coming up to me a few days later and saying, Lee, am I far right? I said, no, you're just right. But they're labelled by Keir Starmer and the Labour Party as some sort of far-right lunatics. And what we did see in Ashfield is protesters with the Hope Not Hate, the stand up against racism, placards, rent a mob. These were people that were spotted in Epping just a few days before. Yeah. So they're travelling around the country, they're causing problems, and no, these people aren't far right at all. And this Keir Starmer, this Prime Minister, I will say this man, in my opinion, is evil. If you speak out, he'll put you in prison. And we've seen that with Connelly. He wants people in prison, and let's remind ourselves, this is a man who spent his life defending wrong-uns. He doesn't like us, he defends wrong-uns, and he'll put anybody above the best interests of the British people.
When you see the dispersal orders and these kind of preemptive moves to stop people assembling, I mean, is it fair the way that then the approaches
It's
that
not
taken?
fair. I mean, I don't blame the police on the ground. The police are doing what they're told to do by their bosses. But you know what, in 20, 30, 40 years' time, some of these police bosses are going to think back and think, I was on the wrong side of history. Look what we've done to this country, and I was part of it. And quite frankly, some of these police officers now, these bosses, I should say, should be ashamed of themselves.
Or when people label it racism, that it really the police get on alert, and they're terrified of being tarred with a certain name or what have you. And like, how do you get around that institutional fear?
We need a change of government. Like, that's what we need. Some of these police officers and the whole system is institutionalised. They've got this. We've seen it on a march. I think it was a few days ago, where one of the police officers says, "If you see any fascists, let me know." Fascists. And I'd say some of the police officers adopting these techniques, they're more like the fascists of years gone by.